Hey, what's up? I'm Darkbblue, trying to help everyone enjoy games in depth. Welcome back to our Elden Ring walkthrough guide. In this video, we'll be finishing the entire snowfield and the Farum Azula, and learning the 2 additional combat factors, special weaknesses, and combating complex themes. In the last video, we have obtained 2 keys from the village of Aberonix and Castle Sol. Now, this allows you to go to a secret catacomb from the grand lift leading to the mountaintops. Use Assassin's Gambit to sneak through and enter consecrate snowfield. In the following area, there is a very heavy fog. The intention is to force you to follow some glowing stones on the ground. However, you can actually set some marks on the map along the path, making things easier.
Do you hear me? It is I, Latena. We have reached the land of Miquella's Halig tree, where Lobo and I began our travels. It's entirely thanks to you that I'm so close to home.
Keep going forward until you obtain the map fragment. Also, don't forget the smithing stone 8 behind the tree. Then turn around to activate the grace. Now we have officially entered the snowfield. Let's first grab some smithing stone net. The first location is in the river valley in front of you. There's a statue and you can bait a crab nearby to break it. Then there are 2 stones where I set the marks. Head west to be invaded and rewarded with a Slumbering Ancient Dragon smithing stone. Then for the second location, you'll need to bait a bear to break the statue. For the third location, you will be invaded by another NPC. After finishing all of this, you can find a small downward slope nearby to be teleported to the Blood Dynasty. Do not rush into the Dynasty yet. Let's go back to upgrade our weapons a bit and explore a tunnel in the snowfield. There are exactly 8 smithing stone 8 in the tunnel. They are in gray color instead of the previous yellow color, making them a bit hard to spot in the background. But you need to find all of them to be able to fully upgrade your Secret Seal. There are 2 Onyx Lords along the way, so you can bring with you Giant Hunt. Lastly, the final boss for this tunnel is another Estiel. This time, you can try to dual-wield 2 Great Swords to fight it. If you are running out of weight capacity, you can equip the Weight Talisman given to you by Nephilim. Now it's time to explore the Blood Dynasty. You can safely skip the wilderness for now, simply riding forward. Getting into the mausoleum area, you can use Assassin's Gambit to further sneak through. In the end, you will arrive at a dark chamber. There will appear some enemies who can sometimes parry you, so you can use jump attacks which cannot be parried.
Here is a cousin. I'm afraid of.
You can notice a side route to your left, which contains the last 3 smithing stone 8 you need. At last, you will arrive at the entrance to the boss arena. Additionally, there are several white mask invasions in the wilderness. Finishing them all will reward you with a white mask gear, which works similarly to Lord of Blood's exaltation. So if you are interested in trying out more stat stacking combat in the future, you don't want to miss this gear. Before fighting Moog, let's first finish some bosses in the snowfield. There's a magma worm inside the river valley, and after finishing it, you can loot an ancient dragon smithing stone on the highlands nearby. Then, there's an avatar on the northeast mountain, which drops a successive attack crystal tier. There's a death right bird in the western river valley, and there will spawn 2 night riders somewhere. You can always refer to the wiki to find their exact locations. At last, let's go to the church to the west of the snowfield to obtain a sombering ancient dragon smithing stone. Now we are ready to fight Moog. Taking this chance, let's talk about one of the 2 additional combat factors, special weaknesses. Elden Ring's enemy design likes special weaknesses. You have seen the shackles for the Omen King, the special buffs against those who live among death, and healing incantations for royal revenants. Exploiting such weaknesses can greatly help you. This time, we're using the shackles for Moog, which we previously obtained from the capital sewers. You can use the shackles at the combat start to create an initial stagger. Then, upon reaching a certain HP percentage, Moog will use 3 special blood spilling attacks in total, which can be very easily evaded by simply standing near his left arm. Based on my practice, simply repeating Wild Strike during the staggers and set moves is enough to defeat him. Since the total duration of mode being controlled is quite limited, you'll want to stack some buffs. To be specific, he's weak to physical damage, so we are using heavy affinity. Since we are using Wild Strike, we need to stack successive attack buffs mainly, along with some strength buffs. In addition, you can use exaltation buffs to further increase your damage. Lastly, since heavy affinity allows weapons to be imbued, we can use a bleeding imbuement, which can trigger Lord of Blood's exaltation amid the combat. After defeating Moog, remember to use a golden full foot, as he really drops a lot of runes. Now let's go burn the herb tree to be teleported to Farum Azula. The enemies here are mainly beastmen. They have long combos and are rather agile, so you are advised to use long-range attacks such as piercing, fan, or sword dance skills. After a short distance, you will be fighting an ancient dragon. This time, you can try to use Path Thread. Next, you need to fight your way through an area with many beastmen. This brings us to the second additional combat factor, combat in complex scenes. Previously, our discussion about combat hypothesizes an ideal solo situation, but in reality, there is synergy between enemies and the terrain, and between different enemies. And there's a process that you gradually approach the enemy in the level. Therefore, you need range attack, AoE attack, long-range attack, and sneaking ability. All of them can be summarized as combat in complex scenes. For example, beastmen have very long combos, so let's use sword dance to prevent them from even starting to attack. There are many beastmen in the area, so we can use some AoE attacks such as Giant Fireball or Grank's Beast Claw. There are some ranged caster beastmen, so we can use Assassin's Gambit. Exploiting these tools that you have will make this area much easier. The area forward is full of skeletons, so we can make use of their special weakness. Golden Epitaph and Secret Blade can significantly increase our damage to them. Next, you'll need to fight some banished knights. Just use our jump attack, lion's claw, and kick strategies. At last, you will reach the next grace before the boss fight against the Dulgoskin. Similar to previous Goskin bosses, they are weak to sleeping pods. You can make both of them sleep before starting to attack. Go to the next area until you see a large beastman. There are two routes going forward. This time, let's go upstairs. In the end, you need 2 stone sword keys to unlock the seal. Afterward, you need to go through a skeleton area until you see Alexander for the last time. Finishing his quest line will reward you a talisman that increases skill damage.
You are it? Then let us begin.
I am the great Jar warrior, Iron Fist Alexander. Lend me strength, O warriors within. Let us become one champion together.
As I suspect. My thanks. I knew you were the stuff of champions. It was a marvelous battle. I implore you, take what I bequeath from inside me. All vessels are destined to one day break. But the great Alexander lived as a warrior to his last.
Back to the previous large beastman spot. This time, let's take the lower path. In the end, you'll need to fight a Crucible Knight. Next, there are many hawks, so you need to bring Gravitas skill with you, maybe on an offhand weapon. Keep going forward after defeating the dragon until you reach the next grace. The next boss is Dragon Lord. You'll need to retreat to cliff area prior to this grace and note a platform of the cliff. Follow the path downward and interact with a tome to get to the boss arena. Dragon Lord is generally easy. You can use Bloodhound Step to get longer traveling distance and iframe window to make things even easier. Our main strategy is to attack his tails. As for how to attack it, you can notice it has high elemental resistance and it's a large enemy, so Pet Threat is obviously the best choice. In addition, it has a set ultimate laser attack at low HP percentage. You can get near a wall when it uses this move so that you can quickly get behind him to evade this entire attack. After the Dragon Lord, let's teleport to the last grace and get onto the bridge. You can first turn left to finish the invasion of Banal. He will drop a special item to parry certain attacks from Black Blade. Also, his chest armor looks very awesome. You need to first defeat a Tree Sentinel before the Black Blade fight. Now let's talk about Black Blade. In phase 1, his regular attacks cannot hit you if you crouch under his belly. However, this certain position will change his attack pattern, making him use special attacks that can hit this position under his belly. So we need to use a wave attack strategy. First, stay far away from him to bait his regular attacks, crouching to evade his attack, then dodge backward to create some distance again to prepare for the next wave. In addition, you can use Bloodhound Step to make dodging easier. Into phase 2, you need to make sure you are not doing a fatal attack when he enters phase 2. This will teleport you to a fixed spot where you can backstab once to evade his initial set move. Then keep attacking him to stance break him and defeat him without letting him get out of the initial set move. If you don't manage to defeat Black Blade within his initial set move, it's not too bad either. His second phase is not too hard. The only thing you need to mind is his Cloud of Slashes attack. When you see this leading horizontal slash, you'll need to dodge backward rather than forward as you normally do. This will send you safely out of his attack range. This is my attributes after the Black Blade fight. Now the only content left in the base game is Ash Capital and Helix Tree. We have also learned all the knowledge of the combat, controlling combat, interactive combat, and stat stacking combat as the 3 pillar combat styles, plus special weaknesses, and combating complex scenes as 2 additional factors.